Hey, thanks for joining us today. I'm meteorologist Taylor Cox, and we are tracking storms across Texas right now. Actually, a tornado warning just expired outside of Houston, Texas. So we'll be taking a look at those storms and what they could do as we head into the afternoon hours. I think this is just a sign of what is to come this afternoon. We do have a very stormy start to this Thanksgiving week. We have that tornado risk today, large hail risk as well. Actually, the Storm Prediction Center just increasing that potential hail size up to 2-inch size hail today. And then we've got that flooding and high wind risk as well. Now for your Thanksgiving forecast, after Monday and Tuesday, your storm risk is going to slow down. Then that winter weather starts to come back in. Will it be cold on Thanksgiving? Who will be the cold turkey? We'll have a look at that for you in just a few minutes. And yes, we talked about that cold. We'll talk about how cold it will get and who will get those cold temperatures first. But before we get into that, I want to talk about the severe weather right now because we do have storms across Texas ongoing. Now, Houston is where we have our eye on right now. This right here most recently had a tornado warning on it. However, it has been allowed to expire. You've got two little cells that we have coming into Houston, or at least the northern side of Houston, so still a very populated suburban area. You can see that these two cells crossing, that second one crossing I-10 right now, about to cross I-45 as well. And then we have a longer line of storms that go all the way up I-45 and through the eastern portion of Texas. So here's your tornado watch, highlighted there in red. Now let me get a little bit of information on this watch here. I'm going to go ahead and consult my map right here. Or not, that's not going to pull up. That's okay. We have another way to do this. Let's go ahead and get a little information on our tornado watch. It goes until 7 o'clock this evening. Over 3 million people are in the path for that under that tornado watch right now, including College Station, Houston, Pasadena, and Sugar Land. Let's go through here. Let's take a look at your radar and get some more information about these storms. There you go. There's your radar right here. We've got storms coming through Waco right now. We've got storms all the way up I-45, and it'll be this line of storms right here. We've got one line that goes all the way back towards 35 and out to Austin, and we've got another line of storms that are right along 45 to I-10. That'll be what we're watching for potential spin-up tornadoes today, large hail, and high wind. We've got more rain farther out to the east in places like Louisiana, but I'm not really concerned about these storms. I'm more watching back to the west at these storms that are through central and eastern Texas right now. What about that hail risk? Well, let's go ahead and take a look at that hail risk for today. You can see that we've got bright yellows that are appearing on the board here. With those storms, you're going to see large hail from these storms today. I absolutely think that we have the potential to see some large hail here. So we'll be watching for that. We'll talk about how large your hail could get and who could see the largest hail sizes here in just a few minutes. East Coast, you're clear for now. You'll have more storms tomorrow. All those storms are sitting along Arkansas, where we don't have a risk. We don't have a very high severe risk in Arkansas. You go farther to the south, those storms could be much stronger. You go up to the north, it's going to be a flooding risk for today. So Little Rock is in that level 2 flood risk for today. A few showers across Wichita, Kansas this morning as well. And your temperatures, they're a lot cooler. The farther north that you go, we've got temperatures in the 40s and 50s out in Oklahoma City, but much warmer as we go ahead of the front into places like Houston, which are feeling those warm temperatures for now. You guys will drop down to the 40s and 50s later on today after that front passes through. Let's talk about the past 24 hours. What an active day yesterday out in West Texas. We saw the panhandle of Texas blow up with storms last night. We did have a few hail reports in this area. You can see those popping on the board right here. Some of these are rather large, but I think one of the most impressive storms that we had was in northern Dallas early this morning. We're talking about 4:30 this morning. Watch these storms coming into the north side of Dallas here. And we got a ton of hail out of this. I'm talking about a lot of hail that coated the ground in northern DFW. Now, we did see ping pong ball sized hail report here, so 1.5-inch hail reported early this morning. That map is up to date at HailTrace.com, so if you're wondering exactly where it hailed, you can head over to HailTrace.com to see that map. Now we're looking ahead to hail today, so let's get into those severe weather risks here. What you're watching for here is you're watching for those darker yellows and maybe even orange colors to signify large hail. What we're watching for here are maybe some ping pong to golf ball, maybe even 2-inch size hailstones. So let's go ahead and play this through. Ooh, we got some nice darker colors right around 4 o'clock this afternoon. We've got some nice dark colors, maybe 7 o'clock in western Louisiana. And then this will continue to die out as we head into the overnight hours tonight and into tomorrow morning. We've got another risk for hail tomorrow as well, so that will be something that we're keeping an eye on. And an increased tornado risk for storms tomorrow across the Gulf Coast. So we'll have an eye on that for you. Let's go ahead and go to your significant hail model, your Storm Prediction Center severe risk here. Level 1 risk for today across Houston and portions of Louisiana. Level 2 risk for storms tomorrow. Actually, let me go back to this. I think I said that incorrectly. Hang on. Let my graphics catch up with themselves. Okay, there we go. Level 2 risk for storms today in Houston, including Shreveport, and just to the south of Little Rock, Jackson, Mississippi, included in that storm risk as well. Then we see storms track to the east for tomorrow, across our Gulf states tomorrow. We've got a lot of people in the path for storms, and we have another level 2 tornado risk. Then things start to calm down as we head into the middle of the week, as you start to see your holiday plans, or as you start to go to some of those holiday plans. Let's go ahead and take a look at your hail forecast here. We have up to golf ball, maybe even 2-inch size hail in places like College Station, Houston, Shreveport, and Alexandria, Louisiana. Let's go ahead and put those risk levels on the board here. I think it's going to be a pretty low chance to get those larger hail stones out in southern Texas today. However, Shreveport and Alexandria, you guys are at a level 2, a moderate risk for large hail in these areas. Little Rock, I just do not think you're going to get large hail today. I think that Arkansas is going to, for the most part, stay out of the hail risk. It'll probably be more of a flooding risk up in Little Rock. And then as we head farther out to the east into places like Mississippi, it'll be more of a wind risk. Largest hail size here, we went ahead and went up to 2-inch size hail, hen egg sized hail. So it's going to be large hail today from eastern Texas to western Louisiana. We also have that wind and tornado risk. So I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead here because I want to get to that tornado risk, which covers millions of people anywhere from Houston to College Station. We've already seen that right now. We just had our first tornado warning of the day just a few minutes ago. So we know that it's possible to get those rotating supercells here. Shreveport, Alexandria, and Jackson all included in that tornado risk. And just a reminder that the farther east that you go into places like Mississippi and eastern Louisiana, these storms will be nocturnal. These storms will be going on whenever it's dark, after the sun has gone down. So it's one of the most dangerous risks that we have right here with that tornado and that wind risk going on at night. Let's talk about timeline here. Let's zoom all the way down into eastern Texas and western Louisiana. You can see that you've got tons of rain ongoing across the Midwest, across Tennessee, Kentucky, Missouri today, but it will be non-severe in these areas. Your better chance for severe weather is down to the south where temperatures are a lot warmer. Remember earlier whenever I said those temperatures are in the 80s? Here's a long line of storms. That's what we're tracking right now. This is the cold front, okay? So as these storms are right along the cold front, they're going to track to the east through the overnight hours. We've got about 4 o'clock. Storms are still in eastern Texas, moving into northwestern Louisiana. And then we've got storms moving into Louisiana and Mississippi as we head into the overnight hours. Again, it's dark by this point, so just remember to have multiple ways to receive severe weather alerts at this point in the night. Tomorrow, we have another chance for storms that goes anywhere from Alabama to Georgia. South Carolina also seeing that rain tomorrow. So this will be your severe weather risk for tomorrow. We have an all hazards risk once again on Tuesday. That tornado, high wind, and large hail risk will be on the board for Tuesday. Let's go ahead and break down those hazards for you. Here's a look at your hail risk. I've circled Birmingham for the best chance to see large hail tomorrow. Up to golf ball size hail. So we've got that 1.75-inch hailstone on the board here, potentially in Birmingham, everywhere else to see smaller hail. So in those other places, we're talking about those pocket change size hail, quarter, nickel, penny, dime size hailstones. But if you go into the central portion of Alabama, golf ball size hail is possible. We also have that tornado risk for these areas, Birmingham to Montgomery, all the way back to the eastern side of Mississippi, a level 2 tornado risk and a high wind risk for you guys as well. Again, that'll be for storms on Tuesday afternoon into the evening hours. Rainfall totals here. We saw a decent amount of rain across southern Oklahoma yesterday. Dallas, Texas also getting rain early this morning. And we have ongoing showers and storms out there right now that will produce that flood risk across Texas and Arkansas and Louisiana this afternoon. So keep an eye on this area highlighted here in yellow. Your flash flood hazard here means scattered flash flooding. It's not just isolated, but we could see multiple areas that are impacted by those flooded roadways. You guys understand the drill here. Your on-ramps, your off-ramps, your intersections could be some of the most dangerous places for flooding. Level 1 flood risk for tomorrow as well, but as I mentioned earlier, by Wednesday, we finally are getting a lot more quiet for your severe weather activity. One more recap here. Here's your chance for storms today, highlighted there in yellow. Here's your chance for storms tomorrow, highlighted in green and yellow. But we do have more rain coming in on Wednesday and some snow as well. Take a look at that snow that's moving into the northern portion of the U.S. by Tuesday and Wednesday, dumping several inches. We've already got some watches and warnings, some of those winter watches and warnings up in not North Carolina. No snow in North Carolina. North Dakota and South Dakota. That's where we see the best chances for snow. Okay, don't get your hopes up here. I know that you see this white color that's popping on our radar right here in Kansas. I know you say, hey, we could have snow in Kansas. Let me remind you that we are about 4 to 5 days out from this event happening, and it will probably be too warm for this to actually stick or for even to come down in the form of snow. Do not get excited here about snow or winter weather on Thanksgiving in the plains. I just think it's going to be such a low chance. But to talk about more of those weather hazards as we get into your holiday week, we have meteorologist Michaela Smith to join us here. So Michaela is going to show you your travel weather, are those flights going to get canceled? Who's going to get the most snow? Michaela, break this down for us and let's talk about their Thanksgiving forecast. Because a lot of people are headed out the door.
A lot of people heading out the door. It's not one of those years that we're talking like a major snowstorm. There's sometimes that around Thanksgiving you hear people being like, oh, huge blizzard, it's going to crazily impact travel. I don't think that's really going to be a concern for this year, but we still, if people are leaving today or tomorrow, we talked about the severe hazards already, like that might stop people a little bit.
Yeah. So wait, you're saying that those models that I saw last week are not going to verify to a major snowstorm across Kansas this year?
I know, it's so hard.
It's a bummer, right?
Those people that like to post things, 10, 15 days out, and then it doesn't happen.
Well, I guess wait until I post my Christmas forecast. But for Thanksgiving, I'm going to go ahead and let you take it away.
Yes, absolutely. So you can see some of these snow totals that Taylor was kind of showing you where you could see some snow is going to be North, South Dakota, or even areas like Minneapolis. You probably have one of the better chances to see some snowfall leading up to Thanksgiving, but it's not uncommon to see snow in those kind of areas. And again, what this is showing you right now, some snow in the forecast. This is just one model showing this on this round of this model. If we showed you this 3 hours later, this would look very different. So don't take this to the bank right now. But there you kind of have you look through your holiday weekend after your Friday. If you have any plans still, maybe you're going to do some shopping early Friday. And then as you head towards the weekend, there's a little bit more snow possible. A lot of that snow is going to be in northern states though, and the mountains. How is that going to impact travel? Well, let's look at those travel plans over the next several days. Here's Monday at about 7:30. You can see maybe some areas more to the north could be dealing with some travel delays, as well as where the storms are going to be at today. Parts of Louisiana, Arkansas, you may be dealing with some kind of delays. Then you go into tomorrow, this is right around 10 o'clock. This is showing for really windy conditions. Now, do I actually think it's going to cause major impacts in Rapid City, in Fargo? I don't think it's going to be maybe as high. You could see more minor delays. That could be a possibility, but this is showing more for wind tomorrow, not as much hail or ice. And then as you get into, you can see Tuesday night, maybe areas like Omaha, Minneapolis, you're seeing some of that wind. You head into Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. Just at this point too, I think a lot of this is pulling, it could be slightly delayed because of how many people are traveling to. So areas like Chicago, pack your patience, Detroit, Pittsburgh, we could be dealing with some more heavy rain too at that point. So that's kind of looking into Wednesday night. And then actually on Thanksgiving, you're not really overly concerned with heavy rainfall. We're not overly concerned with blizzard conditions, any major ice storms happening. So I'm not seeing too many major travel impacts on Thanksgiving morning or on Thanksgiving evening for any people that are traveling. And then once you get to Friday, we start to see more maybe wind coming back across parts of the plains. Even then, it's not going to really impact your Thanksgiving forecast. Let's look at some extremes though across the U.S. for Thanksgiving. You can see the warmest Thanksgiving that I pulled here was 92 degrees. This was in Los Angeles. That was back in 2017. Now, one of the coldest Thanksgivings that I pulled, 22 degrees. That was 1871 in New York. But very fittingly, New York gets cold around Thanksgiving. Not that long ago, actually in 2018, also I want to remind you, 22, that's not the low, that's the high. The low this day was 15 degrees, and that's still the coldest that New York has been on Thanksgiving. But in 2018, they had a high temperature of only 28 degrees. You always, or a lot of people like to watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade. Very cold conditions in 2018. Rainiest I pulled Oklahoma City, 1.59 inches, that was 1896. And snowiest, Colorado, you really stood out here. Almost 9 inches of snow, that was in 1928. So Denver had quite a snowy Thanksgiving. Sometimes talk about snowy Christmases. No, it was a white Thanksgiving back in 1928. So that's a fun look at some of those extremes. I just pulled somewhere randomly across the middle of the U.S. just to kind of get you an idea of the plains, areas like Dallas. Your forecast is going to be pretty similar on Thanksgiving Day. So a lot of people are going to start off a little bit cooler in the morning, 40s, 50s, warming up into the 50s, maybe 60s if you're lucky in the afternoon. Areas more to the south like Dallas. If you go further to the north, you're probably talking about a little bit cooler. So if you're Kansas, other places, you're 50s, 40s. And then as you go throughout the evening, temperatures will start to cool back down again. So we're not talking about any really major concerns for rain or snow on Thanksgiving Day, but it's sweater weather. So if you're kind of planning that Thanksgiving outfit now, I think you might want to include maybe a jacket. Here's a look again at some of those temperatures. This is 6 o'clock in the morning, so the day before Thanksgiving. You're seeing some 30s, some 20s to the north. Check out Bismarck, 23. Then you get to Wednesday evening, and you're sitting in the 20s and 30s still in some places, only the 40s and 50s to the south. So that colder air is starting to move in. On Thanksgiving Day, you're sitting right around 6 a.m. There's more of those 20s and 30s. Check out Bismarck, 15. They may be talking about some cold conditions, cold turkeys Thanksgiving morning. And then in the afternoon, only 20s in Minneapolis. That's where they could be talking about some snowfall. 30s in Detroit, 40s in Philadelphia. So again, sweater weather, jacket weather on Thanksgiving Day. But the further you go to the south, you're talking about highs in the 60s. Corpus Christi's all the way in the 70s still on Thanksgiving Day. I'm gonna bring Taylor back in now. We're gonna talk about maybe any plans after Thanksgiving. I know some people do like to get out early still and shop on Friday morning. Might be cold then.
I think it will be cold on Friday morning, so grab your jacket, maybe the gloves, the hand warmers. Yeah. We'll be honest, we were at the OU game on Saturday, and it made me realize that we were out of hand warmers, and so Amazon immediately bring those hand warmers because it's going to get cold, and I am not a person that likes to stay cold. But I know that you enjoy the cold weather more than I do.
You can dress for the cold. That's my thing. Like when it's cold outside, you can put layers on, you can get hand warmers. When it's so hot, it's just to the point that you're miserable, and I've just always been on that stance that like, if you're too hot, at some point you can't do anything about it. Like yeah. You're still just hot and sweaty.
I agree with that. Well, if you like the cold weather and you're ready for some of this more mild weather to
go away,
be done with that for the year, yes, we are getting cooler as we head into Friday and Saturday, and I think into early December as well. We're going to see those cooler temperatures stick around. So
the polar plunge is coming.
The winter lovers out there are getting excited right now. Michaela, thank you for that Thanksgiving forecast. A lot of people are planning their trips, so make sure that you plan wisely. We did talk about those cooler temperatures. Woohoo, look at all that blue entering the map. We have temperatures down into the 40s by Friday morning in Oklahoma City. We got the teens, they're popping up. 15 degrees in Bismarck, 13 degrees in Minneapolis. So Friday looks mild for the south, cold for the north. How does this compare to what we would normally see this time of the year? With the reds, they're going away. We're not above average anymore as we head into the end of this week. Temperatures are cooling down to below average, so cooler than what we would normally see this time of the year for a good portion of the U.S. So we're talking about central, even into the eastern portion of the U.S. here. What about long term? So as we head into the end of November and early December, well, we told you earlier it's going to get cold. There's that polar plunge that Michaela was talking about, and it's staying chilly all the way through the early portion of December, so it really will feel more like a true winter weather as we head into December. It also looks like we're going to stay pretty active in terms of wet weather. Now, we're not talking about severe weather here. You take away that heat and you bring in the cold, your severe weather chances go down drastically. So what does this mean? This will be cold rain and potential snow across a good portion of the U.S. Your rainfall or precip chances, precip totals, look a lot higher than average for this time of the year. And there's your forecast. There's your severe weather and your winter forecast. So as we head into the next few days, of course, we'll be watching for that tornado potential both today and tomorrow. As we head into Thanksgiving, we'll be posting about the holiday forecast and events happening around HailTrace as well. By the way, we have a Cyber Week early Black Friday deal going on right now. If you don't know about that, head over to our social media pages or give us a call to get more information on that Black Friday deal. Early Black Friday. Man, it's crazy to say that we are already to that point of the year. Give us a call at 855-334-4245 or email us at info@hailtrace.com. Head over to our website, hailtrace.com, for more information. And as always, for more weather updates on the tornado, hail, and wind risk today, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. We will be keeping you updated on that severe weather potential for today and tomorrow. So give us a follow to stay up to date. I'm meteorologist Taylor Cox. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you back here same time,